All right, got about 75% of who has registered today. So thank you guys for joining us. We've got an exciting update coming out. You guys know the drill. So we're going to go over what to expect in the next update. This is our Q3 2025 update. This version number is 10040. We're getting up there in the numbers, y'all, but we're excited about some things that we've got coming out and just want to get you guys a little preview of what's going to be released. We are expecting to release this this evening. Start rolling it out. We do roll it out in groups so that we don't get bombarded in the support team. But so just expect it to be coming out over the next couple of weeks. But we are going to begin rolling it out to some of you this evening or tomorrow morning. As always, we are recording this webinar, so it will be posted to our YouTube channel. We'll follow up with an email letting you guys know that we've got something posted so that you can share it with the rest of your team and make sure everyone's on the same page. We've got quite a few things that are going to be affecting the whole company on this one. So important that you guys are definitely sharing that what we're getting ahead of and letting you guys know what to expect when you do pop in and you got an update sitting on your screen for eManage. So get everybody accepted in here. And again, you guys know the drill. We're just going to go over some housekeeping items, specifically for my admins, a few things that we always ask you to do during the updates. We'll talk about those new features and enhancements and a few issues that are going to be resolved. As always, this is documented very, very thoroughly in the help guide. I'll point out a couple of areas that aren't fully documented yet, but by the time that you guys get this update, hopefully everything's out there. But rely on those resources that you have at your fingertips, free resources that we help give you guys so that you can reference whenever we do come out with some big changes and some new features that you're going to want to take advantage of. We have some mobile app updates that I want to share as well today. So we will transition into a live demo of some of those different things that have been enhanced in our mobile apps. And then at the end, we'll have a little time to ask any questions. But as you guys know, ask questions during the presentation in the chat room. But at the end, we'll definitely have some time to unmute and feel free to speak up and let's discuss anything that you guys need to talk about. So again, housekeeping items for my admins, we're always going to ask you to do some of these downloads. So after the update is sent out to you and you've hit the update button, if you're an admin, we'll ask you to go in and hit help and then import default grid layouts. Pretty straightforward. The second thing that we'll ask you to do is to download the dashboards. We do have a couple of new dashboards out there. I don't know if I'm going to reference those in this presentation. So quick little sidebar as far as what dashboards are out there for you to get to in this next update. The employees one has been uploaded, really cool one to see kind of some employee trends and things like that. And then also the sales standing dashboard has been updated so that you can start seeing the new that feature that came out in the last update with the profit goals. You'll be able to see how close your salespeople are meeting those sales goals with the profits. So be sure to go ahead and hit that download button. These are all one-time things that only an admin needs to do. If your admin's done that, then you're going to be good to go. The last item that we'll ask your admins to do is to go in and into tools configure and into your day planner items configuration area and make sure you hit that import in case we've uploaded any new ones. I can't say for sure if we've done any of those, but it's always safe to do these steps when we get a new update to always make sure you're getting the latest and greatest of any new reporting things that we've added to the system. If you have any questions about that, definitely don't hesitate to chat in, but you guys should mostly be used to that for my admins on the call. All right, let's get into it. Got quite a few things to cover today. So got some new features that we want to make you aware of. Again, everything is documented in the help guide. If you have not explored our help guide yet, this is my little mic drop here. I want you to go into help and view the eManage help guide. Very, very helpful. If you want to expand your knowledge, expand your education on eManage, there's a lot of just self-help documentation there. But again, something that we just definitely pride ourselves in. We want to make sure that you guys are you have the resources that you need for new employees, and again, the new features that come out so that you know how to use them. First big one. This is a huge step forward in the security world for eManage. We have a major security upgrade. There's several different security upgrades that we've put behind the scenes, but one of the user-facing ones that you're going to experience, we're coming out with MFA, your multi-factor authentication. Pretty straightforward stuff. I'm sure that most of you have experienced this with other applications. It's just that extra level of security to make sure that you are who you are and verify your identity. It is going to be a setting that you can enable per user or disable per user. By default, when it does come out, it is not going to be enabled. So for my admins on the call, if you want to take advantage of this new extra security layer, you're going to need to go in and you can update existing users by just logging into the admin application, opening up a user profile, and you're just going to click this enable MFA checkbox that you're seeing on screen. Make sure you hit that save button. Once you have activated that, and of course it is available to set up for all your new users going forward. So first time setup access as well. So if you want to enable that, you can do it on an existing user or new users. Once it is set up and it has been enabled in the admin application, the user will go in and log in and they'll be prompted to set it up. There are some flexible options there. So you can go in and ask or set it up to verify your identity by your mobile phone number or your email address or your authenticator app. So make sure you go activate the user first, and then your users, it's very straightforward. They'll be able to be prompted to set that up with their default option they want set up. For my admins, if your users start experiencing issues, they put in their phone number and they're just not getting it, or they put in their email address and they're not getting that code sent to that option that they selected, it could be that you don't have their email address and their phone number set up properly on their user record. So make sure that you go in and you check those email addresses, those phone numbers. It's all tied to their user profile. Okay. And once you log in for the first time, if you have been activated to use this and you set it up, you're just going to get a code sent to you, a 6-digit code. You'll plug it in like you can see on screen in the eManage login screen. And if you want to hit use other method underneath the verify button, and for some reason you're having some problems and you want to try a different option, you can select your email or the authenticator app. Okay. So huge security upgrade, finally getting that MFA. So admins, you've got a little setup to do, but once that's done, it's pretty straightforward. Again, it's documented really, really nicely in the help guide. So if you want to send out a link to that article on how to use it, how to set it up and verify your identity, you can send that out to your users. Hey, you've been upgraded to use MFA and here's how you use it. I think it's pretty straightforward, but you never know. All right. Um, this one is just a quick little, I think it's pretty straightforward as well, but again, documented. If you're not taking advantage of your mobile apps, I'm going to be talking about that a little bit during this during this presentation, but this is a little mic drop as well for the mobile app. We want you guys to get in there and explore that. This is for our cloud users. So if you haven't upgraded to that cloud yet or switched over, you're not going to be able to take advantage of this. But another huge supporting reason why you should go ahead and just make that switch. We are developing fast on the mobile apps, and there's a lot of really cool stuff to take advantage of. One of those is this new feature where you can go set up, if you've been experiencing the mobile app, maybe you're already used to the punch list trigger. When somebody submits a punch list, it automatically sends a action item back to the office staff so that you can take that first step towards making sure that you resolve any issues that are happening out in the field. This is similar. This is a work order action item automated trigger. The difference between this one, though, is the punch list app. When you do a punch list in the mobile app, it's all automated. There's no setup. If you need to explore that further, it is very much documented. But the work order one, you actually get to tell the system which action item you want to use. So for my admins, this is in your corporate division setup, and you'll see a new drop down that says work order or WO approval AI action item. So I've got some recommendations documented as far as what we would suggest you setting up. Might require that you set up a brand new action item. But if you want to use one of your existing action items, you can just hit that drop down. So when somebody gets a signature out in the mobile app, like you're seeing on screen here on the right side, and work order has been accepted and everything's good to go, customer signs off on it, it'll automatically trigger an action item back to the office staff. So we can take the next step, improve that workflow so that we can make sure that things are, balls aren't getting dropped and that we're taking the next steps to, get things invoiced typically would be the next thing. Cool feature there. I've been looking out for this one for a bit. I know you all have as well. Some additional features, new features that we've got released in this version. This is huge for our H&I dealers. I don't want to spend too much time on it because I know not all of you are H&I dealers, but hopefully this is just going to help improve some of the workflow, maybe less going in directly to the H&I Ready portal and making edits. We have come out with the smart quote tool. So quickly, I'm just going to show a little preview. Web services are just a way to submit information back, through to your manufacturer's portal. What you're seeing here is I went into the quote window. I selected a quote to send through. And for the H&I, this does require some setup. So if you're not set up, we'll reference that documentation that I'm always letting you guys know about. H&I web services have to be set up first. But once that's done, you can go into the quote window, hit submit web service quote, and you can submit this through for price check. If you have multiple H&I manufacturers on one quote, there's a vendor drop down. So in this preview here, I only had one vendor on this particular quote, but you'll see that vendor drop down so you can shoot it through to get your price check for all steel Hahn or Gunlock. We also have a new added bid number, so you can put in that bid number there. And then you're just going to select your contract numbers, your customer numbers, everything that you should be used to doing directly in Hahn's portal. You're now just going to be able to submit that pricing directly in eManage. What's going to happen is that pricing is going to come back directly in eManage, verify the most accurate list and cost according to what you're selecting in this quote submission window, and it'll just plug that pricing in directly back into eManage. So we're just bypassing going directly into Hahn's portal or H&I portal, and you should be very used to some of these drop downs that you're seeing directly in here. And it's all automated, it'll come right back. Additionally, with H&I, we also have upgraded the UI, the user interface. So when we make big changes like this, typically we're going to go ahead and attack the user interface in that area. So the big things that you're going to see are just like some button changes. So I'm just going to zoom in right here. You can see like this. Actually, I think I have a little pop up here. So you'll see those highlighted there. The mark as sent and mark as processed buttons have been added. So if you need to clear out some history for whatever reason, you push something through manually directly in H&I's portal, you can just clear those out of eManage so that you're not accidentally processing a duplicate. So a couple buttons there in the send orders tab and the downloads tab. The new feature, though, again, the user interface has been updated, so the buttons look a little bit more modern and things like that, but should all be pretty straightforward things that you've seen before. But these are the new buttons, mark as sent, mark as processed. Additionally, you're also going to see get contracts and get accounts directly in H&I web services. So you can just hit these buttons. No more need to go into the web services setup and manually put in a new contract or account number. You can just click these buttons and it'll just automatically come into eManage. So if you already have things set up, you're good to go. If there's any changes or updates that need to be pushed to eManage, it'll just update anything that you have existing. Okay. Additionally, we do have the option to add your bid number in at order processing. So again, just things that we know that you guys were going in and doing manually directly in the portal, you can do now directly inside of eManage. Brand new features here. So if you guys are having any issues or questions, please reach out to the support team and the help desk. Let us know. We don't know if there's an issue unless you let us know. We'll get it addressed as quickly as possible. Han is standing by. H and I, Peggy over there, she might be on the call if you are. Hi, Peggy. They've been great to work with and getting us fully set up to make web services run more efficiently, less things that you should have to do manually inside of their portal. We're just going to continue to build on this too. So keep your ears to the ground on any additions or updates that we have for H&I dealers. Got a chat. All right, thanks, Ravi. Attacking the chat room. I'll go back and reference anything live if I need to show anything off, but it looks like we're doing pretty good here. All right, another new web service, and then we'll switch gears. I know a lot of you aren't aligned with these manufacturers, but I've got to go through them. This one's pretty quick because it's very involved. So we're going to try to have a Hayworth specific meeting on this. I'll also probably do one directly with the H&I dealers. That way we can make sure that you guys are getting what you need out of this. But a whole new window available for our Hayworth dealers. This is kind of showing, my other dealers that are sitting in the room. If you have manufacturers that you're going into a portal and you're doing something directly in a portal, uploading a CIF, uploading an XML, they may have the ability for us to connect to them, connect with their web service. So definitely let us know if you have somebody that we can get in contact with those manufacturers. We try all the time. It's just sometimes about getting the right person in the room. But this is kind of showing you the way of the future. Anything that we can help add to make order processing smoother, acknowledging discrepancies that come up from order to acknowledgement to invoice. We all know that pain that we experience on the daily. These web services are really helping close that gap. And Hayworth has been really helping us get our bones ready for all these other manufacturers that are coming out with this technology. But for Hayworth specifically, you're going to have a new window that's going to allow you to see very visually discrepancies and mismatches. We're going to have some one-click resolution, so you'll be able to just click buttons to just verify, but it's going to be very much clear, what these issues are when things change from order to acknowledgement to delivery group acknowledgements. We all know that things can get put on different trucks and you get different ship dates. Hayworth Web Services is going to help make sure that manual adjusting that we used to have to do is no longer needed. And we're definitely going to eliminate some downstream issues that happen with that. Going all the way to vendor invoicing. We have to sometimes stop in our tracks and figure out why something isn't matching up. If we're doing things the right way, we're definitely going to be seeing less issues later down the road. Again, help guide articles on this in very, very much detailed screenshots telling you how to resolve different issues that come up with this new PO conflict tool. So Hayworth dealers, we'll definitely have a meeting with you to go in more depth in this because it's very involved, but very easy to use once you get it. All right, moving on. This is a new mobile technology that we're coming out with. So we're probably going to put an email blast out on this one to let you guys know that we have a new mobile feature available, a totally separate mobile app. We're coming out with a kiosk time clock. It isn't going to be an additional charge, but to allow your users to have an area maybe in the office to go and just punch a time clock. If you're using any type of disconnected apps, I know I can think of a few of you that may still be using like a little punch time card. If you want to connect it all to e-manage and allow them to punch the time clock within e-manage, and you can actually hit it against a project, you'll be able to have one central location where they can go in and use this. It's not really field use. It's more for having something in the office. Maybe you have hourly employees that you want to track. It's not all just about installers. If you want designers to clock in and out of a job, you can do it in the desktop app, but maybe you just want to have a portal that they can go and access an iPad that you can have this kiosk up on at all times. Okay, so that's kind of the idea of this. If you want to take advantage of the kiosk, reach out to me directly. You can reach out to me directly for this one. I give you a pass. Any issues that you're having, definitely reach out to the help desk if you're having issues with anything. But for the kiosk specifically, if you want to get some more information on this, is documented in the help guide, but we can chat about it, have a meeting about it. I can show you a demo. But if you want to take advantage of this, basically, there's going to be a new user type. So admins mostly for you. There's going to be a new checkbox when you're setting up a new user. You're going to want to set up a kiosk admin. There's a checkbox in there that says this user is a kiosk admin. I am going to show you a little preview here of what the kiosk looks like, just so that you can see if this is something of interest to you. But basically what you would do is enable that. You go into your employees, open up an employee, and you give them a PIN number, so their own unique PIN. Once you set up that PIN, you'll be able to go log in to this kiosk, downloadable on all Android devices and Apple devices. But you can see here, I just have a portal that I can kind of log into to demo. I put in my PIN, but it's the first time I'm getting into it, so I can actually reset it right in the kiosk. And I'm entering the PIN to log in to the kiosk app. And when I get in there, it actually is very cool stuff. It shows you real quick. I'm going to clock in here, but it shows that you have what your PTO hours available are. We're going to continue to build on this. We're kind of adding some HR functionality here, make things more visible. If you're using some of the HR functionality in eManage, making it visible to the users, how much PTO they have or sick time. So you just go in, you can clock in. Did I show that there? Oh, sorry about that. Go in, you can select a project to clock into, and you can clock in your whole crew as well. So I'm just kind of highlighting, and then you sign out and let the next person behind you clock in. But yeah, just a time clock kiosk. Hopefully that's of interest to some of you. Again, reach out to me if you have any questions about that. Also kind of carrying over into some new features that affect the mobile usage. I'm sure my tech my team is going to be responding to some of these, but I do want to probably go back and talk about it in a little bit more depth. But I'm going to keep going for now, and we'll come back and talk about that, Alexandra. Continuing on some of the mobile app technology that we have, which sounds like some of you have not explored some of it. So I definitely encourage you to go look at our help guide articles. There's a whole bunch of really good stuff on the mobile apps. But we've just enhanced the way that the mobile app, what you can actually see in the mobile app. Somebody brought this to our attention. Maybe in the Go app, I want to be able to see, I don't know, a customer PO or something like that. But in the Crew app, or even better, the Partner app, which is your subcontractors, if you don't want them to be able to see a customer PO, or maybe it's, I don't know, vendor bills or whatever it might be that you want to safeguard what is accessible in each app, you can tell the system now what notes and what documents are visible in each app. So in the Go app, which is kind of our main app, our salespeople and project managers' internal usage, you might want them to be able to see everything. But in the Crew app, your installers, your Partner app, your subcontractors, they don't necessarily need to see all different types of documents in the mobile app. So you will have an area in the admin under report logo settings to go configure that. If you were already using this and you had the mobile app already set up, it's going to keep that for the Go app, but you will have to configure your Crew app and Partner app access there. Again, all of this is documented. So I'm going to post this video, and then you want to go look into this in more depth and how-to instructions and screenshots and what's the point of this feature. It's all going to be in the help guide. We used to have this, and I don't know what happened, but it did. I think at some point it stopped working, but we brought it back. Kind of a funky name, but it's kind of fun to use in some instances. But there's a feature I don't know if everybody's aware of. There's a checkbox on a note. So when you're adding a note in eManage, you're inside of a project, you click Add Note on your top toolbar. You get to choose a note type, and then you have a couple of check boxes in there. But when you go into the actual history notes, so if you go into history notes on the project, there's a checkbox. And this, I'm mostly referencing at the company level. This is where this really comes into play. I don't know how you would use this on any other level, maybe contact creation, but I think the point of this feature is that when you're creating a company record and you have a new customer account, and you have something that you really want to make known to your employees who are creating projects from that company, you can create a pop-up on child note, meaning creation, right? So if you have a company and you create a project from that company, every single time that I open up that project, or I'm sorry, every single time that I create that project, it could pop up with this note. So you set it once at the company level. Every single project that I create from that company, a note would pop up when you create that project initially. Most of you probably know about the pop up on record open. We use that pretty heavily on projects. Every time I open the project, that note opens, but this is on child. So again, company level notes, and you'll see a little checkbox in there. It says pop up on child creation. So right there, a little checkbox, create that project, and that note will pop up there. So some of you might know about that, my old school users, but it stopped working and we brought that back. All right. So that's it on new features. I feel like we've enhanced a lot of things. So we're going to get into some enhancements, pretty big enhancements here. The new features were a little bit minimal because we were enhancing a lot of things this update, security upgrades, things like that. Those things take time. And we also resolved quite a few bugs on this one. So let's spend a little time talking about enhancements. The biggest enhancement that is going to affect every single user that logs into eManage. One, the very first thing they're going to see is a brand new login screen. I think that's pretty straightforward, but we're going towards the modern look. We're syncing up with Microsoft better, so you'll actually get to do like Microsoft color themes and things like that. That's not fully available yet. There is some hidden Easter eggs with the color schemes. If somebody finds that, I would love to know. Maybe I'll send you a gift card or something for finding the Easter egg. But again, what we're trying to gear towards is just a new interface, a better user experience. Comes with a modern interface that's a little bit more intuitive and way easier on the eyes, in my opinion. So the very first thing that people are going to see, like I said, is the login screen, totally updated there for that MFA capabilities and things like that. But when you log in and you get into a project, a company, or a contact, those main record windows that we're always in. So this is a company record that I'm in. You're going to see the toolbars look very, very different. The icons are updated and more user-friendly. This area and some have been updated, so just kind of take note. I'll point that out, but you can see this looks exactly the same, but you're going to see like more rounded edges and things like that. Take note, we are taking your feedback of the interface maybe is a little bit dated. We're getting there slowly but surely, but you're going to see this sidebar, your modules and history, and what I like to kind of nickname my actions toolbar at the top. Those look very different. So it's going to take some getting used to. This contact window, so main record windows, company, now I'm in a contact. The actual inside of the contact window has been fully upgraded. So very much more modern in my opinion. But it's the window has been moved around a little bit, hopefully for better usage and flow. But you'll see that your follow-ups and your notes are more visible down here, so you can see that history. But if you want to see full history, you can still see that information over here on the left. But kind of putting things in your face that we know that you're kind of digging into and having to click something. Let's bring that to the forward, facing window. That way you can see that information real quick. The thing that I think I'm getting the most used to, definitely like things kind of moving around a little bit, but your eyes will adjust, you'll get used to it. I think the biggest challenge for me, I've been in this version for a couple of months now, is the little things like your eyes are so used to like the red X. I think it was red for cancel. And it took me a minute to be like, it's in the same spot, but it just looks different because the icons are Microsoft 11 friendly. Like we're basically syncing up with Microsoft in a much more cohesive way. So when we do get the color schemes rolled out, that's what we're gearing towards. is being able to upgrade all of these windows to sync up with the Microsoft kind of different features and capabilities a little bit better. You're going to be able to change the color of these icons and things like that. So we're still kind of playing with this. This is the first step. We need your feedback, okay? But it's got to be, got to get loads of the same feedback to make big changes to it. But I think it's looking pretty good. So main record windows, companies, contacts, projects, the toolbars are the big difference. Other than the contact screen, the inside of the contact screen has been updated, but it's really just the ribbons and the toolbars and those main records. Additionally, with this UI upgrade and UX upgrade, the quote to cash graph that we came out with in the last update, we've enhanced that a little bit. We've added a new breakout so you can actually see the sales tax broken out. We were getting some confusion on that, so you'll see the amount plus the tax in those visual metrics there. But additionally, we've also added a forecast. So right there, I'm just going to zoom into it here. So this forecast bar allows you to see basically what that is your quoted minus your orders, right? So if you have this one, for example, I have an open, active, valid, most likely quote, those check boxes that you guys should know about at your quotes, on your quotes. This is what affects these different forecasting areas and your different metrics as far as what values you're seeing on your projects. That most likely and valid checkbox, if I have multiple quotes, but only part of it's been ordered, my forecast for this project is technically what I have left. I haven't actually booked. So just making that more visible so that you can quickly reference that. That forecast value has been in the current opportunities grid for a very, very long time, but being able to go directly into a project and quick glance at this forecast is pretty cool. Okay. Huge upgrade to the action item submission. Again, we are listening and we're taking your feedback and we're making some changes. So I'm going to do a little demo of the new action item window. So first of all, the biggest change is you no longer see the action item list over on the left. Hopefully this is going to help with the user experience. Filling out a form is much more intuitive than looking at a list of things. So we're just trying to enhance the user experience while updating the interface. I think this is huge. So what you're going to see is a drop down list. It's still in order of your, went a little too fast there. It's still in order of your workflow. So you're going to see that you can grab that drop down and select which action item. Notice how when I flip the action item to a specific one, how the surveys show up at the bottom. That's all been upgraded to the new user interface. So hopefully we're seeing a little bit of improvements there. I know we've gotten some feedback on how difficult that survey area can be. I will show you when I flip to one that doesn't have a survey. So if there's one with a more significant survey, I'm going to suggest that you guys start enlarging, especially if you have a large survey. The user experience is much better when you enlarge that window. If you're filling out a form and you've got a lot of information in that window, maybe just go ahead and make a habit of enlarging it. Otherwise, it responds to whatever size you have. But look here how you can kind of manipulate your tool, your windows as well to kind of expand what you're working on. Okay, so the big changes so far is that drop down selection for the action item you're selecting, and hopefully the surveys are reacting a little bit better. Another huge enhancement and upgrade, I feel, is being able to, I think one thing that we forget very much with action item submission, the whole idea is that when I ask somebody to do something, you give them all the information they need at their fingertips. We shouldn't be going back and forth. So if there's a document that you want to add to your action item request so that we don't go back and forth and they have everything that they need, you're now going to be able to select add from project in the top right corner. And you can just click which document you want to attach. You can absolutely select multiple and you just click add selected items. It still does have the drag and drop. So for those of you who love the drag and drop functionality, I love it too. But I think you're right here in this window. What's the point of going history, documents, highlight, drag and drop? I think add from project is great, and just being able to select what document you want to add. You'll see your prerequisites, of course, over there. You still fill all this in as usual, and you're assigned to. Remember, if you haven't been using this, you've got some formatting features there. Here's a little demo of how the surveys work now. You hit that edit button, and then you submit it. Another huge enhancement here. When you submit an action item, we're used to that green bar that pops up, lots of feedback on why didn't this window close out, or again, improving the user experience. This was some feedback internally, but also because of feedback we're getting from customers. So thanks to Mariah, internally, this I think is going to flow a lot better. But you'll see a submission successful window, which I think is just great. Just extra going over and beyond to help you understand what you're doing throughout the system. But it says, would you like to submit another action item? If you hit no, the whole window will pop out, close down. If you hit yes, uh, it'll keep open and you can just keep going with a new action item. Cool. Love the add document. Yay, yay, yay. Thanks, Lisa. Cool. Big upgrade there. Hope you guys like it. With the new grid layouts, you guys know that we're slowly transitioning over to these new grid layouts. You've been seeing it in the actions to perform grid and some other areas of the system, the new contacts grid at the bottom. We're going to be changing all of these over. As we started to change them, we lost a little bit of functionality. We're adding that back in slowly. So just give us some time to get all of that in. If there's something that you feel is very, very um, it helps you in the flow of things and in your grid layouts and things like that, definitely let us know. We'll add it back in. But you can now do pinning columns. So you just right click on your column header and you'll see pin, unpin column. So it's not quite the thumb the thumbtack down and left. Not as user friendly. We're trying to put it all in one area. So right click gets you a lot of different options of what you can do with your columns. Okay. But you can also change your display format now. So if you want to make it currency or a number or date, you can adjust the display format on a column as well. That's all just a right click on the new grid columns. We also are allowing, when we add new columns, wait, I think this is right. I might say this wrong. Ravi, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe this means that if we add new columns on our end, you guys don't have to delete an existing grid layout. I believe that's right. Ravi, correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, cool. So yeah, that can be tough if you have to delete a layout just to get a new field that we added. So it'll just show up automatically, and then you can move it around or get rid of it if you don't want it. But this is just allowing us to make more changes on our end without making you delete something you put a bunch of hard work into to get it the way that you want it. Okay, so grid layouts, just getting up to date with all of those. In those new windows that I was referencing at the beginning of the session here, you can break out the window, pop them out. So you'll see here, I'm kind of showing you in a contact window. You'll see a new item in the toolbar that says breakout window. So it'll pull it out and you can put it on another screen if you want, but it also has the ability to allow it to always stay on top. That means it freezes it no matter what program you're in. So if you open up Outlook and maybe you need to copy something from, I don't know, a project or a company record, or for this case, a contact record. I don't think this is the best example because you have a little email button on the work email now in the contact window, but you kind of get my drift here. So again, just breaking it out and putting it on top. Hopefully that helps with the user experience when you're working in different programs and you need to kind of see what you're looking at in a certain way. So break those out, pin them on top, and then you can get a little bit more done faster. But again, a little extra nugget of information. I'm sidebarring slightly, but I should have talked about it in the contact window. That guy right there, you can hit that and it'll email whatever email's in there. So that new contact window, it's got some enhanced functionality with that as well. Oh, cool. Ravi's just adding a note that this is all also available. I thought it was just the main forms, but thank you, Ravi. That's also available in action items. Okay, any of the new windows. Nice. That's going to be really cool. Pop that action item window out, put it on your other screen, work your action items, put it back in. Very cool. All right, some miscellaneous fields added, again, based on recommendations or suggestions dropped in our suggestion box. We pull out some of those here and there and add some new fields, right? So one of them was the order name being added to the commission report. I think it was difficult to see what commission that was tied to which order. So it'll be the project name dash your order name. So you can very clearly see on that commission report what order that is tied to. Small but helpful, the little things in life. We've also added the order name to the install items when you hover over an install item. Again, multiple orders on one project. Keep everything under that one umbrella. No need to create a new project for a punch list or an add-on. If it all falls under that same big, high level, big umbrella is kind of what I call it. It falls under that project. You can have multiple orders under one project, but the user experience can sometimes be a little bit hard on us when we have multiple and we're just adding that order name into different areas to make it easier on you. So hover over your install item, you'll see what order that is tied to. So if you see 8254 on there twice and you're like, which one is which, without having to open it up and look, just hover over and then you can open up and edit the right one. The assigned to field has been added to the open actions grid. I think that's great. We're using the assigned to in a whole different way nowadays with the new action item functionality that we've been kind of enhancing. So to be able to, I'm a salesperson and I want to go in and see what people are working on. Who do I communicate with if I don't know which action item is assigned to who? So designers, if it's assigned to a specific designer, I know who to go talk to or send a note to or an email to discuss, what they might be working on. Ravi just attacking the chat room. Appreciate you. All right, subcontractors location name. I think this is huge, but it's again small things that make life easier. In the installation items, so my operations folks, my schedulers, when you're scheduling subcontractors and you have the same subcontractor but maybe multiple different locations, use that location name in the company record so that when you go to schedule, it makes it very much clear who you're selecting on there, just to know, which location. Again, feedback that came in from, I know there's got to be somebody on the call that gave me this one, but if you're not using there's the field in the bill of materials in the quote window. There's a field called internal option note and internal phase note, just an extra area where you can add some internal notes. Customer doesn't see it at all. You want to jot down your own little notes. I think it's great for like just kind of highlighting, like this example is a phase note that says all options selected or finished selection pending on office chairs. Just kind of little notes that help us understand kind of what we might be waiting on or anything that we might have changed. And you kind of want to make it shown internally what's going on. Got option level in notes and phase notes. And those for some reason weren't editable for everybody. So we've just made them editable for everybody by default. Karen. Some other miscellaneous enhancements. Another big one that makes a big difference. Not only have we redesigned the vendor bill window, again, user interface updates slowly throughout the entire program. You can kind of get a feel for what the look and vibe is going to be of eManage in the future. It just takes time to update each one of these. But as we are updating them, if there's some lags in areas, as we update these, we're going to enhance them as well. So Ravi has significantly upgraded the speed of the vendor bill window. My accounting folks, you guys send some thank yous to Ravi because it is fast. We've tested it on, I don't know, the 1,000 line item vendor bills, and it is extremely fast. So no more kind of having to wait while it catches up. The big difference that I think that it's going to take some getting used to here, though, in the vendor bill window, again, it's, our help guide articles are going to be the step-by-step instructions. They'll be updated with this new workflow. The big change for my accounting folks, make sure you share this with them. They're going to get in here after the update and they're going to click this apply checkbox. They apply bills to acknowledgements. We're very used to hitting that checkbox, but it's not going to do what they're used to doing right now. So if they just sit there and they're like, why isn't it doing? They've got to hit an extra button here now, apply account postings for selected items. Bobby might be able to speak a little bit more to why we did that, but it's just a change that I think it's going to support some of this speed increase. So while it might be one extra click, it's I think it pays off as far as speed enhancement goes. The other kind of change around that my eyes are getting used to as I work through this version is the create deposit for. If you're doing a vendor deposit, the button has been moved, so you're used to kind of being up in the middle part of the screen. It's down here at the bottom, so it might take some getting used to. Those are the big changes, I think. Just enhancing the speed, the actual functionality is a bit different on the applying part of it, and then the movement of where the fields are. But nothing too crazy, nothing we can't handle. Another lockdown. We're working on several different lockdowns to prevent people from doing things they shouldn't be doing. This is one of them. If you complete projects, if you're not wrapping your projects up or your orders up with these little completion steps, I would highly recommend that you go check out complete. You can just start typing complete in the help guide. It'll pull up some articles on what you should be completing. There's 3 different like completion kind of wrap up things that we recommend. But if you complete a project, it's going to lock the project information down. No more having, allowing users to go in and just change something after we've completed the project. That's the final step that you should be doing. If it's been ordered, it's been invoiced, it's been paid, it's been commissioned. I mean, nothing left to do on this project. We mark it as complete. Let's lock it down. Okay. So if you get into a project and you see that you can't do something because it's grayed out, you see how things kind of are starting to gray out. Robbie, I don't know why this one isn't gray, but it doesn't let you edit it. I know that for sure. Maybe it's because there's text in there, but there's text in these. I don't know, just some things that we might work through internally. But you see how things are kind of grayed down. You try to click on these or type into opportunity notes or scope of work, it just won't let you do anything. It won't let you change the salesperson or anything. So it's really wrapping that project up with a bow. Okay, I'm going to let Robbie kind of talk through some of those things. Might just be a process change that you need to do there. Okay, last enhancement on this slide is we enhanced the open project. It was already an open project in your actions to perform grid. So that open projects button right there, okay? But what we've done is added a drop down. So you can actually go in and select, I wanna go, maybe in your action items, you're like, I just wanna take a peek at I don't know, the punch list or take a peek at the order or the BOM. You can flip it to what you want it to open, click open project, and it'll take you right to that project, right to that module. Cool. All right, wrapping up. So issues resolved here. We've got quite a few. I'm not going to go through every single one of them. I guess it won't take me too long. There was a little sales credit error that's been resolved. The spec integration issue that I know all of you got all my email blasts on, that's been resolved. So no need on new users, or if you didn't complete those steps yet that we asked you to do to reactivate the spec button, this release will absolutely fix that issue. So those manual steps aren't required anymore, but the update does have to go through. Editing acknowledge amounts and quantities, small bug there. Freight part, there's some vendors that are now doing like some minimum charges, but if it doesn't hit that minimum charge, or if I should say if it goes over the minimum charge, then maybe you get it's 5% lift as far as what your freight calculations are. If you're not looking at auto freight part templates, I would definitely suggest kind of playing around with that and seeing if it works for you guys. But basically what that functionality does is it allows you to set up what your freight terms are with your manufacturers, and it just auto adds or auto reduces, changes, all those things as you add parts and product into your bill of materials. But there was a small issue there that we addressed. The punch list action item assigned to, if you were doing a punch list action item in the desktop application, the assigned to wasn't working. but that's been fixed. Auto part importing issue, some Hayworth web services. There was something with the surcharges that feed back how they weren't updating existing parts. So again, if you're experiencing any issues after this update, with Hayworth surcharges or the punch list action item, definitely let us know. Submit a help ticket, and we'll get it resolved as quickly as possible. Couple little minor things in the inventory window. The delete button and the new part button weren't working, so that's been addressed. Lots of finance issues that we resolved. So some QuickBooks Online things. QuickBooks Online still fairly new to us. So when we find things, we're resolving those as quickly as we can. The commission plan configuration window, it didn't allow decimals. So if you pay, I don't know, 5.5% of the profit as a commission plan, it'll accept that additional 0.5%. Commission report, as far as like if you've given access to your salespeople to go run their own commission report to see what commissions I have that are going to be paid out next week and it's been scheduled for you, you're only going to be able to see your own commission. So typically salespeople wouldn't have access to that at all because of this issue. Now you can give them access to it. Let them go see what their own commissions are. Same thing with the time clock. We've got some users that were reporting, hey, we're getting into the time clock more now, but it'd be great if I could only see my name. I don't need my, I don't know, designers to be able to clock in other designers. So unless you have the rights to do so. So there is a user right behind that. Employee dashboard, there was a small issue with that. And then the account and class display issue and credits. Other than that, a couple miscellaneous ones. Huge one I know this is going to be the biggest one everyone's going to be super stoked about. Some users were reporting having like some weird formatting things inside of when you double click into a phase description or an option description, or you're in scope builders and the project info, scope of work, anywhere that you see that you can format your font and make things bold or add bullets, things like that. Those issues should be completely resolved. Definitely let us know if not. There was a bit of a Microsoft issue, and that got fixed by them, and we took advantage of it. The other one that I think is huge, when you guys are going to print custom reports, or I should say alternative reports, let's say, for example, you go to print and if you're not taking advantage of this, hey, you can do this in e-manage. I hope that a lot of you, take away some things that you might not be taking advantage of. Well, as we fix issues, start taking advantage of them. But let's say you go to print a customer invoice or a customer quote. And instead of using our default report that comes with the system, maybe in the customer invoice, you want to add your ACH information, your banking information, or something of the sort so that they have how they can pay you. That's called an alternative report. So you go to print a customer invoice and a pop-up comes up and it says alternatives available. And we have where you can set it as the default, so you can just hit continue. That stopped working at some point, so that's back up and working. If you have default alternative reports, it'll just pop up in the drop down instead of having to select it. So whatever your most used alternative report is, make that your default, and so that you can just hit continue. Okay. Mobile app updates. We got about 5 minutes left, so I just want to do a quick live demo of what we've got. If you have not been using the mobile app and you're on cloud, you are missing out. So make sure that you go start exploring the mobile apps. I'm going to be demoing here in the Go app, in the e-manageONE Go app, which automatically comes with every cloud user license that you have. If you're not on cloud, please stay with me. Take a look at what we've got with the mobile apps, because we are going to continue to develop these very fast, and just continue to add. So give us your feedback as you're using it, what's working, what's not working, what would work better. Let us know. So in the e-manageONE Go app, this is automatically comes with every cloud license. This is mostly for your, I would say, focused on salespeople, project managers, but great for other people. If you're on the go and you're a sales assistant and you're at lunch and someone's emailing you, hey, what's this the update on this project? And you need to open something up, you can do that in the mobile app. I'm not going to get too off track because I know we're getting close on time, but some added functionality in the mobile app, supplied by you guys, giving us feedback on what we're lacking. In the bottom right corner, you see the plus sign. If I hit that, you can now create from the front main page several different things. We already had the punch feature, but you had to go into the project and hit the plus sign, then punch list. If you want to just stick to the front main screen, you have several different features down here now. So I'm going to go back to the punch list. I'm going to demo that one, but take a look at these other options that we've added now. You can create a lead on the go. You can create a brand new project on the go, a company. So we've had new lead and new project for a while. What we were lacking was the ability to say, you know what, I'm at this, I don't know, conference and Chamber of Commerce event or something, and I just got a new connection. Rather than waiting to go back to the office and uh, jotting this down and going back from here, create a new company, create a new contact tied to an existing company. The forms are very user friendly. They are all pretty much the same. So I just want to let you guys know that as far as mobile app updates go, the latest is new company and new contact. Being able to do that from your mobile device is a game changer. But all the forms are very much the same. So if I hit new punch list, rather than going into the project and selecting the add button, I'm just going to start typing one of my project names. So I'm searching for a project, and then I'm going to put the issue here. Okay, description. You can see how the drop down selections show above. So you can say what. I hope everybody's paying attention because we're still asking questions about other stuff. But this mobile app stuff is really important. So take a look. But we can hit a job site. It was damaged. I can say it was an installation error and where this issue took place, Office 101. So if you haven't seen this yet, this is all pretty much the same, but I want to show you a really cool standout feature here. So other than the new company, new contact addition as of late, um, this is really cool. Let's say I have a drawing right in front of me, and with this punch list, I want to take a quick picture of the drawing. I'm just going to take a picture of what's in front of me right now, which is my laptop. I'm taking a picture here, and I can say, use this photo, but look at this edit button. You're going to be able to edit images within the mobile app. This is gearing towards features that like FieldWire have, okay? Let's eliminate all the different add-ons that you guys are using, and let's build this stuff into the mobile apps, into the desktop application so that you can use one centralized system. All the add-ons just create so much wedges between workflow and duplication of what we're doing in one system to another. So we're just going to continue to build on this. But look at this edit button. I can open that up. I can say, maybe this is a picture of a drawing, and I want to say, this is the office that it took place in. I can do little arrows. I can add circles if I don't want to draw. I can do, so if I just scroll over on the bottom, eraser, I don't know what else would I use, freestyle. I can just type, I think. I haven't used this a whole lot, but oh, there you go. So if I hit the little drop down at the top, I'm gonna go back to edit. When I was in Paint, I get all these different options down at the bottom. But if you hit the little in the very top right corner, you're still seeing what I'm seeing. Yeah. In the top right corner, hit that down arrow. It gets rid of the paint options at the bottom, but then you'll see text also at the bottom. So I can say Office 101 arm damaged on chair. I don't know. I can put that right there. Really cool stuff, right? Lisa loves it. Mark loves it. Total Office Interiors. Thank you. But yeah, very cool stuff. I'm super excited about this. It's going to take, some getting used to and playing with it. Put a test project in the system for your supervisors and installers to go in and say, hey, go play with this functionality. Look at the last 3 minutes of this webinar and go start using this and let us know how it is. Cancel. I'm going to hit the down arrow again to get out of it. All my saves changed there. I can edit this document name, hit upload, and now I have a punch list attached to a really clear image of what the issue is. We're just helping close that communication gap of what's happening in the field and letting people know back in the office of what's going on. All right, I'm gonna stop share there and go back over here. So again, big mobile app updates are definitely going to be the fact that you can add some things on the go, and that mobile app punch list edit feature or editing an image. That's what I have for you guys today. I'm going to open up, and if there was anything that I did not get to, if I have to reach out to you directly, I will. If there's anything I need to review, my internal team, let me know if there's anything I need to go into more detail. Otherwise, I'll be reviewing this after. But feel free now to unmute if you have questions, comments. Otherwise, I think Ravi pretty much attacks the chat room as usual. Thanks, Shinny. Lots of good stuff. All right, if no one wants to unmute and speak up, and I think the questions kind of got attacked during the webinar, I will let you guys go. Again, this will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. We'll send out a follow-up email as usual, letting you guys know it's been uploaded so you can share it with the rest of your team. Big updates. And perfect. Thanks, Ravi. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your week. Reach out to support via the help desk, the service desk. You can get there from help, send a help request right within eManage. Get your feedback in there, get your issues and your questions, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. All right, everyone. Have a great day.